Hola, ¿cómo está? I am doing lovely. Happy Sunday. I don't know how to say that in Spanish, but I'm gonna take a little minute to let some people come into the live, and yeah, we'll get started in a little bit. Hola, let me know if you guys can hear me. Whenever people start coming into the live, let me know whether you can hear me or not. I just want to make sure that my sound is good. So yeah, we'll get started with the message in a little bit. If this is your first time watching, there might be a point where you're wondering, what's up with her voice? Just in case you're new here, I do have an anxiety disorder. And ever since I was a little kid, my voice has always been shaky. Ever since I was little, my voice has always shook and cracked due to anxiety. Um, and when I'm super anxious, that's when it really comes out, like when I do these lives. But here I am, even though I be feeling anxious anytime, and I probably need to stop announcing that, but I feel the need to be transparent because, like I said, there might be people watching me for the first time, like, what's wrong with her voice? But yeah, I just have a disorder, and it's been like that since I was a kid. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I love myself. I choose myself. I choose myself. I love myself. I choose myself. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm about to go ahead and start with the message. The truth is, most people settle. Most people settle, and there's many reasons why. One of the reasons why most people settle is because they don't even realize they're settling. I know because I used to be that person. Every single relationship I've ever been in, I settled, but I didn't realize it at the time. And aside from people not even realizing they're not settling, there's so many other reasons why most people settle. A lot of the relationships you see, even the ones you admire, and you look at them like, oh, that's relationship goals. Guess what? Whether you realize it or not, whether they realize it or not, they settled. And that's why you see so many people breaking up and getting divorces because they settled in the first place. Another reason why most people end up settling for the wrong person is because low self-esteem, having self-esteem issues, because you subconsciously think the partner that you truly desire, everything you desire in a partner, you subconsciously think you're not worthy of that. You subconsciously think you're not good enough. So that's why people come up with shit like, oh, the 80/20 rule. Get somebody who has at least 80% of everything you want and just settle for the other 20. Absolutely not. When you believe in God, you don't have to settle. And a lot of times when people hear the word settling, they think of it just in a superficial way. Now, I'm gonna be real. Whoever the person God has for you, you do need to be attracted to. So when people make it seem like, oh, looks don't matter, yes, they do. And I'm not saying a person has to fit a specific look. You just have to be attracted to them. That's why when people make it seem like, oh, the person God has for you, Their looks don't matter. Yes, they do. Why would God pair you with somebody you're not attracted to? Like, so that's number one. But outside of that, even the things you even the things you desire on a spiritual level, you can have all those things. You don't have to settle for somebody that just has 80% of what you want and then just settle for the other 20%. Absolutely not. It's how many people is it on planet? It's six, no, 7, 8 billion. It's 6 to 8 billion people on this planet. Never think that you have to settle. God wouldn't have so many of us here if we had to just settle for somebody that was good enough. That's the thing. Most people believe you just have to settle, just find somebody that's good enough and make it work. Just find somebody that's good enough and make it work. And I used to think like that too. But I realized not only is that settling, but that's not what God wants for you. That's not what God wants for you. And that's the thing. Finding the person God has for you, sometimes, depending on what God has, depending on God's plan for your life, sometimes finding the one, the person God truly has for you, sometimes that takes a while. You might not find that person until you're in your 30s, maybe even until you're in your 40s, maybe not even until you're in your 50s, which I know some people are like, oh, hell nah. Hell nah. I ain't waiting that long. 50s? But it's like you wait on God or you settle. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't have patience. They don't have the patience to wait. Why? Because they don't know how to be alone. And I used to be one of those people. That's why I'm not coming from a place of judgment. I'm speaking from experience. But now I know better. And not only do I know better, I do better. And I want to share what I've learned so you don't make the same mistakes I did. Because, like I said, when I look back on every relationship I was in, every single last one of them, I settled. A lot of them, they would possess some of the things I desired in a partner, but there was still a lot of things lacking. And I didn't have a spiritual connection with any of those men. No men that I was with in the past, I didn't have a spiritual connection with them. And that's how I know I've never truly been in love, because truly being in love, godly love, pure love, real love, that requires a spiritual connection. And I'm going to be real. I've never, not only did I never love any of the men that I was with in the past, even though I swore I did. Like, I was like, I don't even want to get into how many times I've said that three, I was about to say three-letter word. I meant to say, I can't even, I've said I love you to a lot of guys. Let's just say that throughout my life, I've said those three words a lot of times, and I truly thought I meant it. I truly thought I was in love, but I wasn't. Because not only did I not know what love was, I didn't love myself. So how the hell you gonna sit here and say you love somebody else when you don't even love yourself? You don't even know what love is. And the reason why I didn't know what love was, because I didn't really know who I was. And I didn't really know God. Even though I've always believed in God and I've always had some type of connection to God. But I didn't know God the way I know God now. I was lost in the world. I was lost in the sauce. I didn't know who I was. I was a lost soul. Like, I was really trying to find myself. So yeah, I can honestly, confidently say I've never been in love. But now I know what love is because I know God and I know myself. And most importantly, I love myself. And another reason why a lot of people settle is because childhood trauma. Because here's the thing, your childhood trauma can contribute to your self-esteem issues, to where you subconsciously think you're not worthy of what you truly desire in a partner. Childhood trauma, lack of faith. That's another reason why people settle. It all goes back to not truly believing that God has somebody for you. So you're like, man, there's no such thing as the one. There's no such thing as you having a specific person. Just find somebody that's good enough and just make it work. Just make it work no matter what. Just like I hate the advice that people give and try to say, oh, like you need to be realistic. But then at the same time, they'll say they believe in God. How do you believe in God, but you don't really believe in love? Because if you feel like you have to sacrifice certain things or settle for certain things, like for example, me personally, I have to be with a man that takes care of himself. I have to be with a man that works out on a regular basis. I have to be with a man that eats healthy. So, guess what? If I come across a man who has everything else I desire except for that, he doesn't eat healthy, he don't take care of himself, he don't work out, that's not my husband. That's not the man that God has for me, because God knows me having that in a partner is not only necessary, but that's vital for my well being, because whoever you marry, they're going to influence you. They're going to have an impact on you, whether it's negative or positive. That's why you got to make sure you pick the right person. And it's really not even about you picking the right person, is you letting God choose for you. And in order for you to know that this person is the one God chose for you, you have to listen to your spirit and you have to be tapped in with God, seeking God every day. You and God got to be like this. You and God got to be besties. Intermission. I need a water intermission real quick. The vocal cords is getting dry. Let me say hi to y'all. I just been. I am depressed. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, sweetie. I'm gonna pray for you. Not on live, but after I get off live, I'm gonna pray for you. How are you? I am great. I am lovely. uh, I'm such a freaking hippie. I'm over here just sitting on my floor. I'm always sitting on the floor because it just makes me feel grounded. That's why I said I'm such a freaking hippie. I got the dream catcher and the feathers in the back with a little random ass painting I did. But let me get back focused on the message. I need some more water though. Oh Lord Jesus. Yeah, like I said, I used to be lost in sauce. I did not know myself and I didn't know God. But once I truly healed and I really got close to God, I gave my life to God. And I don't mean that in a religious sense, but what I mean by I gave my life to God is I told God, look, I'm done doing things my way. I surrender to your will. Please guide me. Please direct me in every single area and aspect of my life. Once I did that, once I healed and I got close to God, that's when I became so much more confident. That's when my standards got really high, which is why I've been single for so long. And that's the thing. Don't some I don't want to be negative. Some people really are with their person, but a lot of the couples you see that you envy, they not even with the person God has for them. And they probably gonna be broken up in a year or two, maybe even in a few months. So you shouldn't envy that, because here's the thing. the higher your standards are. And especially if you're letting God guide you and you're not just going out picking somebody and going on a bunch of different dates and not judging people that do that, but at the same time, I'm just a firm believer in letting God guide you to your person. And there have been people who have met their person on dating apps, but let's be real, that doesn't happen that often. If the person God has for you, in most cases, they're not going to be on a dating app. Not saying it can't happen because there are people who have been connected with their person that way. But let's be real. How many crazy, horrible, traumatic stories do we hear about people on dating apps? Anytime I hear people talk about dating apps, I always hear them saying negative stuff. So yeah, I truly believe in letting God guide you to your person. And when you're letting God guide you and you have higher standards than you used to, yeah, you're probably going to be single longer than the people you see around you that's getting booed up. And that's okay. Because me personally, I don't want to just try a bunch of different people out. I already been there, done that. The next man I deal with, that's who I want to be my husband. So, in order to, and of course, you don't know 100% for sure when you first start talking to somebody, but just vetting somebody out before you even start dating them. Just like me, for example, I don't want to go the first time I'm sitting down and talking to a man, I don't want to go on a date. I don't even know you. I don't feel comfortable getting all dolled up and dressed up and going out to dinner and going on a date with you. Let's just meet up at the park and sit on a bench and talk and get to know each other first to see if there is even something there. That's where I'm at now because, like I said, I don't want to try a bunch of different people out. The next man I deal with, that's who I want to be my husband. So that means I have to be careful about what I entertain. I can't just be saying yes to anything that's offered to me. And that's why, like, old Kyla, especially me living in Atlanta, I'm gonna be real, it's a lot of very attractive black men. So if old Kyla was living here in Atlanta, oh, it would be a wrap. I would have a roster. I'll probably be pregnant by now. I would be dealing with different niggas. Excuse my French, but I would be dealing with different dudes. And now, how I am now, like, even though guys try to talk to me almost every single day, and I'm constantly turning dudes down because I just know better. Now that I know better, I do better. I know too much to fall for the same things I used to fall for. Like, it's almost like God is giving me x-ray vision to be able to like see through people. And sometimes, and I don't even want to say like, oh, I see through people. All these guys are like dogs. Because I've came across some nice guys. I've came across a lot of gentlemen, very respectful. But it'll just be little things just within that first conversation, that first interaction, that I'm like, you're a great guy, but you're just not my person. Like, you're a great person, you're just not my person. We're just not equally yoked. And that's why I think it's so important not to just jump at the first opportunity you get. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes it's tempting because I'll be lonely. I am a very affectionate, touchy feely person. So yeah, like it is challenging going that long without, physical touch. But I am strong in the Lord. And like I said, I just know too much at this point to settle or to be playing around. Sorry, that was my yoga mat. I did not pass gas. That was my yoga mat. I was sitting on my yoga mat. I need a water intermission. Water intermission. Water intermission. But yeah, somebody asked me, they were asking me, like, oh, how is dating for you in Atlanta? And I was like, I don't know, because I don't date. And they was like, what? I was waiting to hear like your experience because I've been having a terrible experience. And I was like, yeah, honestly, I wouldn't know because I don't be dating. That doesn't mean I'll never go on a date. Like, I'm open to going on a date, but I'm not just going to say yes to anybody. Like, at this point in my life, how much work I've done on myself. That's another thing. Once you really do the work on yourself, once you once you do the work on yourself mentally, spiritually, and even physically, me being in the gym 4 to 5 days a week, once you do a lot of work on yourself and you build up your confidence and you really learn to love yourself, you can't even fathom the thought of settling. And that's why it was a dude at the gym, the dude that was asking me, like, how's your dating experience in Atlanta? Blah, blah, blah. He asked me, he was like, let me ask you a question. Let's say you turn 45 and you're still single. How would you feel? What would you do? And I was like, I'm gonna be real. I wouldn't want to be single. Like, ideally, I would want to be with my person by then. But if I did not come across the one, if I still haven't come across the one by that age, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just gonna be me and God. Because here's the thing, when you really love yourself, when you truly love yourself, settling is more of a punishment than being alone. Being alone is not a punishment because I love me. Being alone is not a punishment because I love me as much as I am a lover. And like I said, ideally, I would want to have my person. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I'm 40, I'm 45, the clock is ticking. Let me just go ahead and find somebody. No, I'm not gonna be like, oh, by this age, I'm gonna go ahead and just settle. Absolutely not. It's just gonna be me and God. And I'm gonna just dedicate my life to serving and helping others and being happy for others. Period. There's nothing you can say to scare me into settling. And that's how you have to feel about yourself too. No matter how tempting it is. And trust me, it is tempting. Especially if you live in somewhere where there's a bunch of attractive people that are your preference. Because, like I said, well, I don't know if I said it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I love me some black men. As a black woman, I love me some black men. No disrespect to any other race. No disrespect to any other race. But as a black woman, I love my black men. And I know my husband is going to be black because I'm not attracted to, no disrespect. I feel nervous saying this because I really don't want to offend anybody, but let's just say I'm just attracted to black men. I just, that's just my preference as a black woman, which I don't think is bad. I don't think that's wrong. But you might ask, well, how do I know if I'm settling? Number one, if you feel like something is missing, even if that person is a great person and you're attracted to them and y'all have chemistry, if you feel like something is missing, that's not your person and you're settling. Another way to know that you're settling is if you can't fully be yourself around that person. If you feel like you have to filter yourself, if you feel like you have to hide certain parts of you, that's not your person. If you don't feel like you can talk to them about anything and everything, that's not your person and you're settling. This is why, and I'm not condoning this. Please don't take this as me condoning this. But that's why a lot of people end up cheating because they're not with the right person. They settled. And trust me, like I said, I'm not trying to victim blame because I've been cheated on. That shit hurts. But the truth is, 9 times out of 10, there's exceptions to every rule. But 9 times out of 10, if somebody cheats, It's because whether they realize it or not, they settle. They're not really with their person. That doesn't make cheating okay. Like I said, I've been cheated on. That shit hurts. But that's just the reality. That's why it's important not to settle. So you don't be cheating and you ain't getting cheated on. um, but yeah. Also, if you don't feel as strongly about them as they do about you, you're settling. Or if if you feel stronger about them than they do about you, you're settling. Either way, whether you feel stronger about them or they feel stronger about you, you are settling. The desire should be mutual. If you can determine who loves who more, you're not with the right person and you're settling. And that's not fair to them either. Also, if I was single thoughts, if you have thoughts of, man, if I was single, I would talk to that person. If I was single, that person's my type. If I was single, if you have those thoughts while you're in a relationship with somebody else, that's not your person and you're settling. And again, that's not fair to them. Let them go out and find their person because you definitely ain't it. If you don't feel that way about them, then that means you ain't that person either. And something that really pissed me off the other day that I came across on TikTok. I'm gonna vent a little bit, but it's going to tie into the message. Water intermission. Oh, yeah. Something I came across on TikTok. TikTok. Something I came across on TikTok that really pissed me off. It was this couple being interviewed by this guy who goes around interviewing random couples, I think in New York. And I can't remember his name, but you're probably familiar. If you be on TikTok, you're probably familiar with what I'm talking about. So he interviewed this couple and he was asking them how they got together. And the guy was saying he chased her for 5 years. And the interviewer asked her, what made you finally give him a chance after 5 years? You know what this chick's response was? I ain't gonna lie, I just wanted to call her out her name. God, please forgive me. But at least I said chick. But I was so pissed off. You know what her response was? I was getting old and the clock was ticking. She said this not only in front of her man, she said this on a very public, big platform. Like, I felt so disrespected for him. Like, and that's why when people, the whole idea that, like, oh, a man should chase you if he really wants you, absolutely not. That is a prime example of why you should not be chasing a woman. And a woman should not be chasing a man. If the desire is not mutual, if the feelings are not mutual, that's not your person and you're settling. Now, if you want to settle and you don't care, you just want to have somebody, do you. But if you want real love, if you want the person God has for you, then you cannot settle. You should not settle. I don't give a damn how old you are. I don't care. I don't care if you are getting close to the age where you can't have kids anymore. If you want real love, spiritual love, godly love, you have to be patient and you just gonna have to wait. It is what it is. And I'm saying this as a person who has been waiting for a long time. I've been single almost 3 years. And some people might be like, oh, that's not that long. No, when I say single, I mean, not only have I not had sex or kissed anybody or done anything intimate or romantic with anybody, I have not even went on a date. I don't even have dudes in my phone that I'll be texting or entertaining or even hanging out with. And that is a big deal for me because like I said, prior to that, I always had a man. I was always attached to somebody's son. So to go from that to being single for almost 3 years, single and abstinent, yeah. I'm not saying this advice like it's easy. I understand how challenging it is, especially when you're just a loving person. You know you have so much love to give. Until God brings your person, you have to give that love to yourself. You have to pour into yourself. And another thing that pissed me off when I was on TikTok, I came across this video where it was pretty much reversed. The guy was saying he felt like he settled for his wife, but the wife was feeling like, "Oh, this is my soulmate," but he was secretly feeling like, "Yeah, I settled. I don't really want to be with my wife." And there was somebody in the comments. It was a woman in the comments that said, "This is why you need to get a man that loves you more than you love him." I absolutely 100% disagree. I will never agree with that advice that you should get a man who loves you more than you love them. Or you even if it was reversed, you should get a woman who loves you more than you love her. Absolutely not. And the thing that really pissed me off was that comment got 11,000 likes. So it's 11 at least, and it's probably way more than that. But it's at least 11,000 people that agree with that take. It's 11,000 people that agree with that BS. If, like I said, if you can determine who loves who more, that's not your person. That's not the person God has for you. And you're settling. And anytime people give advice like that, it's rooted in fear. It's rooted in fear because you think by picking somebody who loves you more than you love them, you're safe. Oh, this is a safe choice. I don't have to worry about this person hurting me. I don't have to worry about this person cheating on me. Guess what? They still can. They still can. That doesn't matter because here's the thing. You might be secretly thinking, like, oh, this person loves me more than I love them. And even if that is true right now, that person can subconsciously feel that. They feel deep down, they know you don't love them as much as they love you. And as soon as a person comes along that they're attracted to, but that also is attracted to them and wants them just as much as they want him, he's going to leave you. He's going to cheat on you. So picking somebody who loves you more than you love them, that's not wise advice either. Like I said, wait on the person God has for you. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard, but it's going to be worth the wait. If this message helped you, if it blessed you in any way, please make sure you like it. And please make sure you're subscribed. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I love you guys, and hopefully, I will see you soon. Bye.